Welcome back to Men's Couch. Today, I'm here with some friends, and we're here to talk about burnout. Let me introduce you. I'm Micah,
I'm Sam.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Angie.
and we're here today to talk about burnout and the effects of burnout on, I guess, just like our lives and how we can deal with burnout when it comes. I think it's Sorry, I hear the static. I think it kind of comes with good timing because... Oh, stop. Then it's back on again. So I think it comes with good timing because of... for like our college, we have a lot of midterms. And a lot of people are kind of stressed out with that. A lot of people are stressed out with that. So we have to kind of confront the stress and kind of figure out how to approach burnout in a more healthy way. I think it's I don't think it's avoidable at all times. I think it's kind of we're always going to like come up against stress and burnout. So I think it's normal. It's just like, how do we deal with that?
Thanks for that good intro, Micah. Burnout can take a lot of different forms, and we're going to talk about some of the mechanisms that you can take to make things seem more manageable and to tackle burnout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I guess.
Did you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, sorry, I just forgot.
Yeah, I'm Lauren again, in case anybody didn't catch that earlier.
She was here when the dolphin burned
Yeah,
down.
I was here when the dolphin
Dolphin
burned down,
episode.
back in season 1.
Yeah.
So I'm like a recurring character by now. But anyways, so about burnout, I think it's really important to recognize the signs of burnout and kind of tackle it early on so it doesn't like lead up to bottled feelings, and just like sharing how you're feeling is really important too with that. Just knowing you have a good support system behind you is also important.
Yeah, I think something that we probably a lot of us struggle with burnout is acknowledging it.
Yeah.
And we just put it to the side and we continue doing, our daily tasks, and we don't take the time to address it and kind of not like rest. Rest is important because that's burning out happens with not resting.
About, like, Sabbath or something.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of, I guess bringing all of that into the situation, Sabbath is important.
Yeah.
To actually, like, follow through with, because it's just, I guess, a designated day that we have to rest, and rest is important. I think we heard a phrase at Jubilee that was like, work from your rest, not rest from your work, or is that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was at CCO the other night. We heard that phrase. It was in the one reading.
Something like that. So if you understand what that means, it's like, don't, like, take some time off when you need it and rest.
Yeah, it's important.
Because burnout will just accumulate, and then that will not be fun.
Yeah.
So
I think for me it's hard. It's hard to sometimes like just not do work because I always think like that I should be doing something. Like, I'm not being productive if I'm just like not doing anything. So it took a while for me to get used to like having like a Sabbath, to like accept that I need a Sabbath. So I think part of burnout is accepting your limits as a human, because we're not like, we can't just like do everything. So.
And burnout's well recognized at this point too. In the professional world, it's $1 million issue. People have to allocate resources like vacation days, paid time off. So even in the business world, there is a recognition that burnout is not just a stigma, it's a real problem, and that we need to address it.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a cough and it wants to come
That's
out.
okay. I think for me, burnout, like, I'm a nursing major, so just like any STEM major or any major really in that field, burnout is one of those things that just kind of hits you like a sack of bricks. Like, one day I want to do 500 different nursing assignments, and then I have to go to clinical and see patients, and it's like, I can't be Superman. I can't do 100 things at one time.
Yeah.
But
like, sleep is also like...
Yeah, sleep is very important.
Yeah.
You can't live off of caffeine your whole life as much as I would say I want to.
Yeah.
Sleep's important, rest, taking care of yourself.
yeah, I think burnout is eventually something that we all have to go through. We all go through that. just due to our human nature of wanting to take on everything at once.
Mm-hmm.
I find that for myself, whenever I get bursts of like adrenaline or whenever I get bursts of energy, you would think that it's something good, but it actually indicates that I'm about to crash. So often I don't pay attention to that, and I just use the energy and stuff and do like a million things at once, which makes the crash, I guess, hit me even harder. And I can imagine that for most people, especially in college or people who do anything in life, you eventually have periods of burnout.
Yeah, so. You need to press the help button.
Oh, yeah.
The help button. Yeah, I think with burnout, like I said before, for me, it's kind of hard to accept my limits as a human, because I always think that, I guess it's part of like perfectionism, or like that kind of goes along with that. You think you should be able to do all these assignments like within a short amount of time, but that's not reality. And for me, it's hard to live in that reality where I have to say I can't do this. It's kind of like last night I was working on like sociology, and it was almost until like 9 p.m., which is way past my bedtime. And I had to just close the computer and just say, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna go to bed and just like have that boundary with work. It's hard to do that for me. So
there's only 24 hours in a day, so it's important to recognize that. And burnout can look very different for everyone, which we talked about. I think some signs for me that I'm burning out is when I start losing pride in the work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So once you're just like, oh, this is what it is, and this product's good enough, or this is good enough. The term good enough means that I'm starting to burn out. Because once you stop putting full effort into every single thing, you can start to recognize that you're not fully invested in it.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it is for me. Is it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's like an addiction, but it's kind of like I'll like go when I'm doing work, I'll just keep doing it, and then like I won't notice like the physical signs of me being tired. So I'll just be like, oh, it's okay, I'll just like brush it off, and I'll just keep doing it. Yeah,
that's kind of the same for me. Like I'll keep doing a bunch of work, assignments, and burnout for me is not just school related. Like there's other responsibilities. I work 2 jobs like during the summer, and it's just I have other responsibilities in my life that can cause me to burn out too. So I think that I don't realize burnout until it kind of hits me over the weekend, and where I'm like finally relaxed. Like even that one Sabbath day where I'm just relaxing, that's the day it hits me.
That's when it catches up with you.
And it catches up with you, and you don't realize it in the time and place.
Yeah, I think we can like keep running. Like, we'll keep running like on a treadmill until we get off that, and it's like Saturday, like this Saturday, and I was just like just in bed all day with my cat because I was like so tired from the week. So I think like when you're always on that level of the level of stress, or that when you're like always on that, I think like the physical signs is you like kind of having like a hangover, a burnout hangover, for lack of a better word. You have like a hangover from like the week, or just you don't want to move. So like it just Saturday. So yeah.
Yeah, hangover usually. I mean, not hangover.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, burnout usually starts not physical, emotional.
Yeah.
Like you said something about mindset, and how signs of you burning out, or like, having that phrase in your head like this is good enough or whatever. It starts out emotionally, and then it turns into physically, and that's where you crash.
Yeah.
And I can relate to you on the aspect of what you were saying with perfectionism, and how it is an addiction, by the way. That is an addiction.
It's an addiction. Like I'm addicted to like achievement and like needing to always like be on top. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I always need to just be on top of things.
That's ambition.
Well, like I feel like there's good parts of it, but then there's like a part where you're just like, oh, I'm sacrificing my mental health for this thing.
No, yeah, it has its good sides, but arguably it has worse sides to it.
Yeah.
Like I can remember, especially my senior year of high school, I was involved a lot. Thus my resume reader. And a lot of things that you burn out, and then obviously you sacrifice time.
Yeah.
You sacrifice a lot of time for, you know, instead of spending time with your family, you spend time trying to be the top of your class or doing other things. So it does have its pros and cons, but arguably the cons are worse because of all the aftermath that eventually catches up to you, even though you think you're Iron Man for a while.
Yeah.
You end up finding that you're not.
There's only so much you can do within like a short span of time.
Yeah, and I guess also like being a person who finds, I have a really weird relationship with like burnout and stuff because I find comfort in having stuff to do.
Okay.
Like always doing work, and not doing work makes me feel like kind of like unaccomplished, I guess, or like I'm wasting
like lazy?
time. Yeah.
Lazy. That voice in your head is like, you're lazy.
Yeah, like you need to be doing something.
You should be doing something.
So I don't know. Maybe different people have different relationships with what they would categorize as burnout, or what leads up to burnout, or anything like that.
So I guess we can do different, like, what's your definition of burnout, or like what do you define as your personal? Did we already do that? I think we already did that.
I think we kind of did.
We all kind of covered it.
Mechanisms to stop burnout and what we use to counteract that. If you guys want to.
Okay. I guess I don't know if I want to go first. So like to stop burnout, for me, well, I usually need someone else to like tell me. I need like someone else to tell me like to go to bed. Like I think like on Friday. Was that Friday? Whatever day that was last week.
Oh,
you're like, go to bed. Like you need to go.
I did tell you to go to bed because it was past your bedtime and you needed sleep.
You really did need sleep that day.
So it was like, I was like getting close to that time, and I kept just wanting to like go against my body, and I feel like other people like notice that, and they just like kind of tell you like go to bed or.
Oh no, it was obvious.
Because my mom said that on Saturday. She was like go to bed. So I don't know. I always like feel like I should be able to take on more than I can handle, but I think like a mechanism to stopping it is listen to yourself. Don't listen to like the perfectionism voice that like says that you need to always like be on the treadmill all the time. I think listening to that is like a mechanism. Yeah, I would say that's a mechanism. And like listen to other people too.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can give the best advice because it's something I struggle with continually.
Yeah.
But ideally, right? Listen to other people who know you and know, I don't know, your situation and know how you are. Especially when they tell you to rest, you should listen to them.
Yeah.
And maybe don't listen to yourself, because obviously the perfectionist voice will always speak louder than the thoughts that you have.
You should do more.
Yeah.
You should do more.
So I guess being surrounded by people who are supportive of you being the healthiest version of yourself.
Yeah.
And understanding when you've reached your limits are probably one of the best things that you could do for yourself.
I think for me, like, mechanism-wise of handling burnout, same thing as Micah and Angie, just listening to your friends. Like, they know what's best for you. Like, I just met Angie, like, a week ago, and Marina. and Micah, I've known you since band camp, but still, like, Angie, in the span of a week, like, you know what's best for me, and that's crazy. And, like, I'm thankful for you guys for looking out for me, especially just, like, Nurse Lauren gets burned out a lot.
Yeah.
But I think one of the first things I turn to is either music, because Micah, with band and everything, I play the flute and piccolo and guitar. It's kind of just my method of dealing with burnout. Sleeping, because we all know that I drink 1 billion Celsius a day, and I live off of caffeine. Yeah. So there's that. And then the gym, like just stuff like personally to take care of myself while I'm also listening to my friends' input. So it's kind of like a 50-50 balance is perfect for me with burnout. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, my family, but... Yeah.
Another thing is to slow down. I need to tell myself.
Looking at me.
Oh, I didn't.
That was a loud tap. I'm so sorry.
In your direction. So another thing for me is to slow down, and like you don't have to always be on the hustle. Because I guess I don't know if it's necessary about like my family, but like we always need. I feel like a value is work. and like that's a good value, but you don't always need to be like on the move 24/7. Like for me, my personality is very like low energy, like laid back. I'm not like the type A. I mean, I don't think I'm type A. I don't think I'm like that. I'm very like chill. Like I need to just a lot of rest and reflection because that's my personality. So the go for me is going within like the limits of my personality. I can only handle just a lot of rest. Because I think I need like a lot of just low energy things like reading. I like to read a lot. Using like my dorm's a library, but yeah. So I like to read a lot, and I like to just spend time with my cat and like garden. So all that stuff is like very like low energy, but. And don't compare yourself to like how someone. That's another like mechanism is like don't compare yourself to like how other people work because that works for them, but that might not work for you.
Or maybe it won't. It doesn't really even work for them. They're just putting a facade.
Or that.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy. So once you start comparing yourself, that's gonna create a tough mental picture to live up to. I definitely have a couple different mechanisms to beat burnout in a sense. The first one would be change your setting. It can be as simple as I'm going to take some time and instead of studying in the dorm, I'm going to go to the library. Yeah. And just that quick change can reframe how you view that activity. And that leads me to my other way to defeat burnout, which would be changing your perspective. Mm-hmm. Many people view like we're at a Monday right now. It's Monday night. I bet you a lot of you guys are like, oh, let's just make it through till Friday, and then the weekend will be here. That's very big picture and very broad. And if you're doing that, the weekends are going to feel short, and they're going to escape you. Yeah. So if you take it day by day instead of it's Monday, I got to make it till Friday. That's not a healthy way to think about it. And when I am taking things day by day, I try to sandwich big and small tasks. Because if you're doing big task, you're going to be on zero, out of energy by the end of, noon by lunchtime. So I'll go to my classes and I understand that's a big task, and then I'll relax for an hour, and then I'll do some work, and then I'll go eat.
So it's not like working like all day?
No, you got to break it up into increments, and it seems a lot more manageable, a lot easier to tackle. I run 80 miles a week most weeks, and when I'm staring at that number at the beginning of the week, it seems like Everest. But once I get up and just realize, oh, I just got to run this morning, and then I can get 6 or 7 hours off. Then I kind of like break it into like chunks. Take it run by run.
Yeah.
And I think running can also be a metaphor for burnout, because when I'm training, not every single run is all out. In fact, most of them aren't. You need to do something called building your aerobic base. So 5 out of the 7 days, I'm just running easy. And it's relaxed, it's conversational pace. And then that makes your easy days easy and your hard days hard. So when workouts come, I'm ready. And I think that can be related to life. When you have a hard day, you just need to see the light at the end of the tunnel and reward yourself with an easy day the next day. That's kind of sandwiching within the day, and that's definitely a strategy that I take. And then, like I said, it's all about your perspective. If you think something is going to suck, guess what? It's probably going to suck. But if you come in and you try to see the positive and see the joy in everything, it's going to seem a lot more manageable.
I think for me is when I have like an assignment that's due maybe like on Friday, I think I should get it done by Monday night. It's a weird thing for me because I think a part of burnout, it's like a fear of getting behind on work.
And burnout can be the stepchild of procrastination too. They're very similar and they have similar effects on the mind. So I'm sure that's a topic for another day, procrastination. So I don't want to get too into that.
So what I was saying is that to kind of go off of what Sam said about taking things into chunks, for me, I'm kind of like with college, I'm kind of learning that because I would always just do an assignment. Like I would spend hours on an assignment when it's due, like a week from today or a month. I would spend like like. Is it your phone? Yeah, it's probably. Yeah. Okay. I would spend hours on an assignment, because I thought it would need to get done now. But that like it's like my mindset was like, do everything now, but that's not reality. You kind of have to. It's like ghost.
I think that relates to a class that we take right now too, Micah. So we have applied psychology together.
Yeah.
There's no checkpoints. There's no due dates.
Yeah, that's
it
the
was
thing
all
about that.
due on Saturday at midnight.
Yeah.
And I bet you a lot of kids in the class waited until the end of February to do the stuff
Yeah.
when it's been assigned. But since I chunked it, it was so much more manageable. And then I found myself this week just putting the final touches on my resume that I submitted, small stuff like that, because I had already tackled some of the bigger stuff. But
Okay.
I also didn't sign up for the class, and the first week everything was assigned. Be like, let me do this all.
Yeah,
Let me do
that was
now.
me though. That was
And
me.
how did that work out for you?
It didn't go.
Well, I'm sure you were stress-free this weekend, but
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
sure it was tough in
Yeah.
the beginning. So pace yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like for me, I was about to say something, but then I forgot.
By the way, horrible way to structure a class. I'm not a huge fan of it, but
with,
I feel like I'm being personally called out because my policing teacher. No, it's nothing. It's actually good.
Yeah.
My policing teacher. He actually uploaded like everything week by week. So I'm caught up all the way until like April because I
See, that's the thing. I feel like I need to be ahead, even though I don't need to be. And like doing like the chunk thing, that's something that I need to learn to do because you need to like it's more realistic to do it in chunks instead of like in one big thing or one night. And even like the professors, they don't even like they're not saying like, okay, get this done now.
Mhm.
So
what Angie essentially just stated is that if she's not ahead, she feels like she's behind.
Yeah.
Even if you're on pace,
Right.
mentally you have that voice in your head that's saying you're behind. You're behind.
Yeah.
And
or it's
now
like the fear
you're
of
all the
being
way
behind.
through to April, which is it's good, but it can come with stress.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the day I was doing everything was very stressful.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
I don't know. I kind of lost my thought between but it's fine. I don't know. Just with
Do you
nursing.
think you need to be ahead? of
Well,
everything?
here's the thing. I feel like every major is different. Like
Yeah.
nursing, I feel like no matter what I do, I'm never going to be ahead. I
Yeah.
feel like I could do 5 different things and still be behind. Like that's
Yeah.
just the ricker of my major. And I also have many other clubs. I'm involved in 6 or 7 different clubs on this campus. And
Yeah.
And especially being a transfer student, having all of that on my plate too. I feel like I've never really been ahead since I've gotten here. And
okay, so like with the classes and stuff.
yes, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm already behind. I already
Yeah.
lost 17, 18 credits in my transfer, so I'm already a semester behind.
Yeah.
So chunking things up doesn't necessarily work for me because I feel like I have to get what's done to stay on track or I'm going to fall behind.
Yeah.
And especially with nursing, if you try to chunk things, you're just going to get more things added on. So that's why, for me, burnout looks a little bit different.
Yeah. So it depends on like the class and like the major, like in a college setting. I think for me, it's I think for me, it's knowing when to stop and knowing, like I said, to slow down, but also because we have like for rest, I think we all have like this, we should have like, people think that we should have like one day of rest, but I feel like we need to include rest in our day-to-day lives, but it just like, maybe like resting today looks like going to Romo's and going like getting something to eat. And then for me, like resting, because I'm a like nature person, is like sitting in nature and just like staring at nature. That's for me. But resting like for on a daily level, because I think like having a Sabbath day is good, but I think sometimes we also need to like include like Sabbath like or rest in like in our daily rhythms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we say?
Yeah, that can look different for anybody. I think, like for you, I think your greatest Sabbath is going to sleep early.
Yeah.
That's
why I have to. People ask me like why I go to sleep at like 7 p.m. or 7 or 8 p.m. But that's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like that's kind of like my lifestyle. I always like to get up early and go to sleep early, but also it's like when I can rest, because I need like 12 hours of sleep. I need like so much sleep. But that might not like work for someone else. But yeah.
So you're going to bed after this?
Maybe like an hour after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Late night.
Yeah, and that's even late for Micah.
What?
That going to sleep like at 8 or 9 is late.
My cutoff time is like 9. Like I should be in bed by 9. But it doesn't always happen that way. And
No.
I think burnout has to deal with like expectations where you think you should be, but you realize that you weren't there. Maybe it's like you're doing like an assignment and you think you should be halfway done, but you're a quarter of the way done. And I think burnout can happen because I think like, well, at least for me, like your self-esteem like starts to go down because you're not meeting your expectations. And I think burnout also is like adjusting your expectations to fit reality. And I think that's hard for me because like you said, Angie, earlier, it's like you have like these ideal expectations about what you think you should do. And I like your running like
Analogy?
example.
Yeah.
Analogy, because you can't like expect to run like 80 miles in one day. I'm assuming you can't expect that, but you chunk it up in a week.
You just kind of brought up something. Sorry, I was away from the mic. You just kind of brought up something that.
The dolphin.
Yeah. Well, not the dolphin. The dolphin, that was something different. But just with like the whole running analogy thing that you brought up, like I just recently got into songwriting, and.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. So it's like I can figure out a lyric to a song, but I can't finish the song for weeks, sometimes a year. Just putting the chords together and everything takes time and progress, and it takes like you have to be in a good sense of place, like especially when you're songwriting. I feel like music just kind of can play off of burnout in a sense that.
With mental block, I'm assuming.
Yeah, with mental block, because there are times when I'm trying to write a song, or even in playing a song, like music's very big in my life, and if I hit like a mental block, nothing's gonna happen. But some of at least 2 of my best songs have come from places of distress, burnout, but also like positivity, and like how I came out of the burnout like influenced my music, and the stuff that I've like wrote down and put out is like my music. So yeah.
Sometimes you have to take a step backwards to take 2 steps forward.
Oh, for sure.
And I think you talked about that in your music creative process.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was laughing because I kept coughing.
Especially when you've been doing music since the 4th grade. It's just one of those things that you build on, and you've seen like basically every stage. I mean, Micah, I'm sure you can attest to this, but every stage of a musician.
I did music since I was like in middle school. Wait. Or maybe it was. Yeah.
And just through like band and like us working together that like not every band practice is a good one, and we have to take a step back.
That's a good example. It's like not everything goes as planned, and not everything is gonna work in like the how you think it will work. So I think like because that, I think I overwork myself because I'm afraid of things not going well. I think that's why I overwork myself.
And yeah, that could be rooted from how we grew up to our influences to the outside environment. That fear of not doing well can really affect you mentally. And then that's when you have to step back and realize that what you're doing is enough, and what you're doing is the best quality work that you can do, even when you're burnt out. You have to realize that.
Yeah, I feel like the thing you mentioned about family background is a huge thing. Coming from a daughter of immigrant parents, you're being first in college, being first in so many things. Yeah.
I didn't know that, sorry.
Yeah. It's very stressful, and you often are filled with like the sense of responsibility to have to carry or make a legacy to be carried on with that, and be
sure.
like good enough of like, I guess, feeling like you have to be good enough for the sacrifices your parents made to be here.
Yeah, that's I feel that burden. Like,
yeah, that's a lot. I could relate to that a lot.
Yeah. So also, like, was anyone like a straight A person, like, in high
I mean,
school?
I was also like the older sister of my family. Like, I have a
Yeah.
little brother. He goes here. He's a freshman. But like, anyways, beside the point. I always
like
had
you're-
that standard that I had to be the straight A top
Yeah.
performing student growing up. And if my brother got like lower than average grade, he'd be like, "Oh, it's fine." But if I
But,
got a
like, you have
B,
a
my
different
mom would freak
standard.
out. Like, it's a
Yeah.
different standard.
Yes. Were you a straight A kid? Sam's a straight A kid?
No.
Not straight A kid.
Think I'm a solid 3.7, 3.8 on a good day type student, I'd say.
Yeah. I think.
And I think perfectionism can lead to burnout, like you said.
For
So-
sure. Like, I just had a 4.0 semester, and that's something that had a lot of burnout behind it. I'm not necessarily proud of it. I feel like
Yeah.
I was more proud of myself with Sam, like with the 3.7, 3.8 good day student than the
Yeah,
4.0.
like when is it like going to be enough? Like, is this like 3.7? Like, is this enough, or
Even like, yeah, even having those 4.0s, you feel like you're never enough.
yeah?
And that's when you have to step back and realize that what you're doing is enough, and what you
Yeah.
put out there, you be proud of. Like I said, I was way more proud of a 3.7 than I was getting that 4.0 because I feel like I put more work into that 3.7.
Yeah.
Don't
when-
define yourself by the number.
For sure.
It's the thought process that goes into it. If you were happy and healthy and worked hard, I don't think it matters whether it's a 3.6, a 3.8, or a 4.0. As long as you were doing the right things,
For sure.
it's going to be healthy.
Yeah, I think that's like
Yeah.
a mechanism of burnout, is realizing that what you're doing is enough, and you don't need to keep pressuring yourself to achieve these unrealistic expectations. For me, like, my family background was, I guess because I don't know if I would, like, if I fell into this, but for me, I would just always just like make straight A's, and like I would get that achievement
Yeah.
from like my parents, that like that approval or validation.
Sorry, my ears are hurting.
Okay, I would get like that.
You're good.
I would get that that approval or validation. So I guess like for me, it became like something that I needed to look forward to. Is if I do this, then they will accept me, and just like kind of seeing like how, because I'm not like a first gen, but seeing that my all my family went to college and stuff like that, feeling like I need to like achieve all of this that they did, and I need to make sure that I'm like on top of my game, because if I'm not, then like like I'm afraid of like my family saying, well, what are you doing, even though it's probably like irrational, but it's kind of like, I think we have like that fear of like how people will perceive you as like being lazy or something. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
But like for me, like I don't know you, Sam, that well, but Angie and Micah, like just being freshmen college students is a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
I was a freshman at one point in my college career too, and
Oh,
you
mentor
guys are
Lauren.
you guys are taking it very well, and I'm proud of you guys for seeing through it. And yeah, it's nice to see you guys take on this challenge and realize that you guys are doing enough, and you're doing above and beyond what I was as a freshman student. So
Oh my gosh,
take that
High praise.
for sure,
Thanks.
for sure.
that's good. Also, another problem is when someone says, I think when someone says is like your work is good, like receiving praise, that's also another problem, because and I kind of talked about this with Dimitri earlier. Shout out to Dimitri, because I kind of talked to him about this. Like it's hard, and he knows this about me as well. He said like it's hard for you to receive praise, and I think it's because I don't know why. I don't know. Is it hard for you to receive praise for your work?
Kind of.
Kinda.
But in the way that I don't know, because when I do a lot of things, most of the time I feel like it's even if I have people telling me it's good enough, I always feel like it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So I
think
feel
that's
like
me.
sometimes there's been times where I guess I felt really insecure about the work that I've done, even though it's great.
Yeah.
And I have people telling me that it's great and it's great and it's great. But it kind of irks me.
It's not convincing you?
Yeah, it irks me because it's not convincing enough for me. And that's part of like the perfectionist pattern of being addicted to doing a lot of things, and then when you do those things and you accomplish those things, those aren't good enough for you. And then you have to achieve something bigger, and then that's not good enough. And then when you achieve something more bigger, it's like, yeah, but then it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things go unnoticed. Like you put out a great paper and your friends are like, what a great paper. Or even if you do the most amazing thing in the world and it goes unnoticed and you don't get any praise for it, it doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah.
It just means that they don't really see the amount of, I feel like a lot of
That's
stuff goes under the surface.
It's like when people kind of like don't like notice that when people don't notice that what you're doing is good enough, that then it kind of leads for you to doubt your work. And you don't need to doubt your work based on like how other people see you.
And that goes back to just knowing that what you're doing is good enough.
Yeah.
And ties that back together.
Yeah. So, Sam, are you good enough?
I think so. I hope so. Sometimes the two most harmful words that someone can hear in the English language is good job. That can be very destructive for them, because then sometimes they become complacent, or they take that validation and they crave it. And you need to realize that compliments are going to come and go, and you just need to keep punching the clock. You just need to keep working and not work for other people, because once you start working for other people, you do definitely lose yourself.
Ooh.
That's why good job needs to be replaced with good enough. I feel like a lot of stuff, like I said, just goes unnoticed about what you're doing, and it doesn't mean that it's bad, and it means that you're doing your best in that moment. And like Sam said, you're not doing it for other people, you're doing it for yourself. And so I feel like for me, self-satisfaction is way greater than any external compliments are nice, but any external compliment that you can get.
So you said that like that self fulfillment or satisfaction helps prevent burnout, maybe, or helps us deal with burnout. As long as I know
for sure
that I'm meeting my goals, then even if I go even if I am stressed, I know that I have achieved this
preventing
goal.
Burnout, not necessarily helping to prevent a further burnout.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
I feel like self-satisfaction is a big key in that.
Yeah, I think it could even prevent burnout. I think it could personally prevent burnout, because when you have self-satisfaction, often like when you're burning yourself out, you're working for other people. But when you have self-satisfaction, you're confident with your own abilities, so you don't need to burn yourself out for other people, because often the burnout comes with doing that for other people. So I think self-satisfaction is important, and being confident in your abilities and knowing that even if you maybe do something wrong or make some mistakes, that doesn't mean you're incompetent as a person. It just means you're human, and it's hard.
Criticism
it's hard
for me.
Yeah.
It sounds like we all have different definitions of how to defeat burnout too. Like I talked about chunking, but that wasn't relatable to everyone. You guys talked about self-satisfaction, and that works for you guys. And then Micah just talked about powering off, and sometimes taking a Saturday, or respecting your bedtime, and just knowing your limits. So every single person has a different way to defeat burnout, which that's the beauty of it. There's no cookie cutter mold to doing it. Yeah. So
that's what. Sorry,
got water.
That's like with that's why I'm glad I do this, because I like to hear everyone else's like different perspective, and with like preventing burnout or just like dealing with it, there's no like Sam said, there's no right or wrong way. So like even hopefully you don't burn yourself out while trying to prevent burnout, because there's no like right or wrong way to do it. It just kind of works for you. But any like closing?
I think time is just really important. Time recognize yourself, recognize the burnout, and take the time you need to figure out how you're gonna solve burnout.
Time is super important.
For sure.
Yeah, anything in excess is bad.
Yeah.
So if you do too much work, it's bad. If you are overly lazy, that's bad.
Yeah.
But being able to have limits to everything and respecting your rest and also respecting your work time is absolutely vital
Yeah.
to be able to not burn out, or maybe burn out less.
Yeah.
I think I definitely want to almost end on that point because moderation can be so important. And I think that was really well said. So, yeah. Great
All
job,
right.
everyone.
So today, again, sorry, I'm like having this weird cough.
You're
Today,
fine.
it's me, Micah, and
Me, Micah?
no, me, Micah. I'm just like,
Oh.
like me, Micah, and
Wait, I'm
Sam.
confused.
I'm like kind of like ending it as like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's like we're,
Sorry.
Yeah,
We should cut this out.
it's okay. So me,
Angie.
Lauren.
Sam.
okay. Yeah, today we're just doing our perspectives on burnout, and we hope you enjoy that and took something away from that.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.